Welcome to Passport to Sleep, a calming journey through real places and dreamy escapes. Let's begin tonight's story. We arrive by train and quiet road, winding our way into a countryside that seems to grow softer with every mile. The hedgerows are thick with early summer bloom. Lambs lie lazily in low green fields. Somewhere nearby, a brook laughs gently beneath a canopy of leaves. The sun is out, but not bold, just enough to dapple the lane in moving light as we pass beneath oaks and ash trees. Cotswold stone appears before the village does, golden, warm, honey-coloured no matter the sky. We pass a signpost with the names curled in graceful script: Lower Slaughter, Upper Slaughter, Stow on the Wold. The names sound like something from a half-remembered tale or a dream that took root in English soil. Our car slows before a low stone wall wrapped in ivy. This is the Slaughter's manor house, tucked gently into the heart of Lower Slaughter, a village that isn't named for violence, but for the Old English slough, meaning wet land. Everything here is water and light. The river eye slips through the village, so clear and slow it seems like it's thinking. We check in beneath exposed beams and soft light, our footsteps muffled by old rugs and quiet wood. Our room overlooks the garden, where a pair of hares dart between hedges. There's a small armchair by the window and a tea tray already waiting. Porcelain cups, milk in a little jug, sugar lumps in a wooden bowl. We don't need to unpack just yet. We sit and sip, watching the wind shift the garden roses. When we're ready, we step outside. The manor's facade is covered in ivy, and the low stone gate creaks a little as we open it. The air smells of wildflowers and distant wood smoke. Down the path, the village unfurls without effort. A row of stone cottages, their roofs slightly uneven, as if sagging gently into age. Window boxes overflow with lavender and white petunias. A blackbird sings somewhere behind a hedge. Lunch is just across the green at the Slaughter's Country Inn. We sit near a mullioned window where the river passes slowly by, its banks lined with forget-me-nots and tall reeds. The menu is handwritten. We order bowls of warm leek and potato soup with crusty brown bread, a local cheddar sandwich with red onion chutney, and sparkling elderflower cordial poured over ice. Outside, a man in tweed walks his terrier along the river path. The only other sound is the occasional rustle of wind in the sycamores. After lunch, we walk. There's a footpath that leads from Lower Slaughter to Upper Slaughter, winding gently through fields that feel untouched by time. The path is marked by ancient stone stiles and iron-kissing gates that squeak softly as we pass. Sheep lift their heads, then return to grazing. The grass is springy beneath our feet, dotted with buttercups and white clover. We cross a narrow footbridge where the water gurgles softly, and before long we reach Upper Slaughter, even smaller and quieter than its neighbour. There's a square here, more a widening of the lane than a true plaza, surrounded by stone homes with doors painted sage green and powder blue. A horse leans over a fence nearby, tail flicking lazily. We stroke its nose and continue. We turn back before the sun gets low, retracing our steps until Lower Slaughter Mill comes into view, its red brick chimney and water wheel reflected in the slow bend of the river. Inside the old mill, we browse shelves of hand-ground flour, herbal teas, lavender soap, and thick wool socks. There's a tea room too, and we settle at a table near the window. The scones arrive warm with clotted cream so thick it barely spreads, and strawberry jam that tastes like it was made that morning. The tea is Earl Grey, and we drink it slowly, watching the light shift across the river. As evening drapes itself over the village, we return to the manor house and change for dinner. The sky outside turns the colour of faded parchment. In the distance, a pair of owls call to each other across the fields. Tonight's meal is at Lord's of the Manor, just a few minutes away in Upper Slaughter, tucked behind tall hedges and framed in golden light. Inside, the dining room glows with quiet formality. White linen, crystal glasses, the hush of careful conversation. We choose roasted guinea fowl with root vegetables and thyme, and a plate of soft goat cheese with pickled beets to start. Everything is plated with elegance, but nothing feels fussy. Each flavour is familiar, yet deeper somehow, like something remembered. Dessert is a warm fig tart with crème anglaise. We eat it slowly, letting the vanilla linger. The walk back is nearly silent. The sky above us is dark now, the stars just beginning to slip through. We cross the same stone bridge, the water still moving below, moonlight catching on its surface. At the manor, the hallway smells of wood polish and old books. The fire in the sitting room is low but still glowing. Back in our room, we open the window just a crack. The cool night air drifts in, and from somewhere far off, a fox yips once in the distance. The bed is deep, the covers heavy and soft. We sink in slowly, letting the hush of the countryside settle over us like a blanket. We wake to the sound of rain, but it's the good kind. The soft, steady tapping against the old window panes, the kind that slows the world down and makes tea taste better. The sky outside is a pale wash of grey. The garden glistens, raindrops clinging to leaves and dripping gently from roses in bloom. Downstairs, breakfast is served in a quiet, fire-warmed room. We take a seat by the window, wrapped in the scent of toasted bread and roasting tomatoes. The table is set with thick mugs and blue-edged china. We order soft scrambled eggs with smoked salmon, grilled mushrooms, buttered toast, and a pot of strong English breakfast tea that seems to warm us from the inside out. Outside, a pair of robins hop along the garden wall, undeterred by the drizzle. By the time we finish eating, the rain has lightened to mist. We set out with our umbrellas and take the short, winding drive north through hedge-framed roads until we reach Stow-on-the-Wold, perched on a hill where the old Roman fossway once ran. The town square unfolds in stone and slate, all mellow tones and crooked rooftops. Everything looks just a little softened by age. We park beside the green and wander in. Cobbled streets lead us to St. Edward's Church, whose back door is framed by ancient yew trees, branches arching over the doorway like something out of Tolkien. The stone is cold and wet to the touch. Inside, the nave is hushed and dim. Tall arched windows let in diffuse light. Wooden pews creak softly as we sit and listen to the silence. Later, we explore the village, past signs for butchers and ironmongers, past shop fronts with polished brass and old glass. We step into the Borzoi bookshop, one of the oldest independent bookshops in the region. Inside, it smells of paper and weathered wood. The shelves are tucked into every wall, filled with both new novels and old treasures. We find a narrow back room with a small window seat and sit for a while, flipping through a guide to English gardens, a novel set in Cornwall, a poetry book full of foxgloves and tides. When we step back outside, the clouds have broken. Patches of blue open above us like someone has gently pulled aside a curtain. We walk a few steps more to Lucy's tea room, tucked into the corner of the square. The tables are dressed in white linens. We order a cream tea for two, warm scones, clotted cream thick as butter, and strawberry jam that smells like summer. Our tea arrives in mismatched china, and we linger until the cups are empty. In the afternoon, we head to Bourton-on-the-Water, a village threaded by a clear, slow-moving river. The footbridges here are low and simple, each one weathered by time and framed in moss. Children feed ducks near the bank. Shop signs swing in the breeze. We walk along the water, past sweet shops, toy stores and bakeries, where the air smells of vanilla and warm pastry. Behind the more travelled streets, we find quiet lanes where the houses lean slightly forward, their doors painted soft blues and greens. A black cat stretches in the sun on a stone step. We stop at the Cotswold perfumery, just to smell the oils, rose, lavender, sandalwood. The woman behind the counter speaks softly and offers us a sprig of rosemary from the pot beside the door as we leave. Before evening, we detour toward Kingham, a village that feels suspended in a different kind of stillness. The drive is golden with low sunlight, the fields vast and green, bordered by dry stacked stone walls that stretch like lines drawn by hand. We pull into a gravel drive beside the Wild Rabbit, a beautifully restored inn and gastropub that glows softly from the inside out. The dining room is a blend of stone, linen and oak. The menu is local and seasonal, perhaps wood-fired leeks with goat's curd, slow-roasted lamb with rosemary juice, or beetroot risotto with garden herbs. We share a small bottle of wine and order slowly, unsure of what to pick because everything sounds exactly right. Dessert is a warm pear and almond tart, served with clotted cream and a drizzle of honey. The spoon clinks gently on the plate, and outside the windows, dusk settles into the folds of the hills. The ride home is quiet. The roads wind through trees and along hedges. The headlights catch glimpses of low stone cottages, ivy-covered gates, and the occasional hare darting across the lane. The sky is indigo now, stars appearing one by one in the wide openness above. Back in Lower Slaughter, the village is still. The river glints beneath the bridge. We let ourselves back through the gate of the manor house and pause for a moment in the garden, breathing in the cool air, the scent of wet grass and roses. The room is warm again. We read a few pages by the fire, then close the book. The bed is soft. The night is deep. Somewhere outside, a single owl calls once across the fields. The sky is pale when we wake, not grey exactly, more like cream, soft and glowing at the edges. Birds are already moving in the garden below, brushing the hedges and flitting through ivy. The air outside the window smells of wet earth and lilac. Somewhere nearby, a gate clicks shut and boots crunch lightly on gravel. It's the sound of a village waking gently. We dress slowly and step into the fresh air, the last of the dew still clinging to the grass. The manor house is quiet this morning, its stone walls warmed by the first hints of sun. We follow the curve of the lane, passing the river again, where the water flows as steadily as it did our first day. Our first stop is Bibury, a short drive through winding country roads framed by dry stone walls and grazing sheep. The fields roll like a soft green quilt. Pheasants scatter in the distance, their long tails brushing the grass as they dart into hedgerows. It's early when we arrive and the village is almost completely still. Arlington Row appears like a painting, 10 historic cottages built in the 1300s as a wool store, now converted into private homes. They stand in perfect line, their steep slate roofs mottled with moss, their windows small and deep set. A tiny river, the Colne, winds past them, clear and shallow, its surface broken only by drifting petals and lazy trout. We walk along the edge of the water. The path here is soft with wildflowers, Queen Anne's lace, foxglove, golden poppies, and we stop often just to watch the bees moving through the blooms. The air is warm enough now to lift the scent of grass and clean stone. We pass a gardener in a wool cap tending roses with gloved hands. He nods once. No one speaks loudly here. We stop for lunch at the Swan Hotel, seated near a mullioned window with a view of the river and its swans gliding beneath a footbridge. The dining room smells of roast parsnips and baked bread. We order something simple and local, perhaps roast chicken with rosemary potatoes and spring peas, or a cheddar ploughman's lunch with pickled onions and thick sliced bread. A glass of sparkling apple cider, cold and dry, catches the light as we raise it. There's a small fire in the corner. We linger long after our plates are cleared, just watching the breeze move through the trees. In the afternoon we visit Snowshill, a tiny village tucked high on a hill. The road is narrow, the kind where moss grows between the stones and the walls press close on either side. We pass through a gate into a quiet garden beside the church, where the air smells of thyme and warm stone. There's a bench beneath a plum tree where we stop to sit, and from there we can see the entire valley below. Fields divided by hedgerows, sheep grazing, a ribbon of road unwinding through it all. Snowshill is known for its lavender fields, which bloom in deep violet during the summer months. Today, the fields are just starting to blush with colour, but the scent is already in the air, fresh and floral and just a little sweet. We walk slowly between the rows, brushing our fingers across the plants. The hum of bees surrounds us. The hills rise gently on all sides. It feels like the kind of place where time unspools into stillness. We head back to Lower Slaughter in the late afternoon, taking the long way. The road winds through open fields where the light glows gold across the tops of the grasses. We pass a postman on a bicycle, a shepherd with a stick and a dog trotting at his side, a flock of birds rising as one from a hedgerow and vanishing into the wide sky. Back at the manor house we pack slowly. There's no need to rush. We pause by the window, watching the river one last time. Its surface is smooth, barely rippling. The swans are there again, white against the gold of early evening. Before we leave, we walk into the village once more, just to say goodbye. A final circle past the mill, the footbridge, the low green, the scent of cut grass, the sound of a distant bell. The air is cool again, the way it was when we arrived. The trees whisper, the fields wait. And we carry it all with us, the quiet, the stone, the water, the slow, beautiful pace of it all. We hope you enjoyed this journey. Please follow us for more destinations, and don't forget to leave a review. It helps others find a peaceful place to drift off to. We'd also like to remind you that information in this episode may become outdated. Please verify with your own research if you plan on traveling to any of these lovely destinations. Until next time.